Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk video. In today's episode, we'll be talking about if Juice Wrld was set up by his record label. Let's get right into it. On April 13, 2018, Juice Wrld released his debut single, All Girls Are the Same to the World, and it was an instant hit. Juice Wrld, who was discovered on SoundCloud by Nick Mira, had worked with the Internet Money team to produce the song that would eventually end up changing his life forever. Right after producing this song with the Internet Money team, Juice Wrld was stolen from Internet Money by Lil Bibby's record label, Grade A Entertainment. For those who might not know who Lil Bibby is, he is a former drill rapper from Chicago who saw moderate success in the early 2010s alongside a fellow drill rapper Lil Herb, or now known as G Herbo. Lil Bibby would eventually leave the rapping side of the music business to become an executive label owner. Juice Wrld would be discovered by Lil Bibby's brother, who would proceed to show Lil Bibby Juice Wrld. Lil Bibby heard the All Girls Are the Same record and knew he needed to sign Juice Wrld instantly. Signing Juice Wrld would turn out to be the greatest decision Lil Bibby ever made, as Juice Wrld would end up becoming a superstar. Juice would go on to drop a string of hit songs like Lucid Dreams and Ransom, both songs that went on to become huge records. He quickly amassed a cult-like following, which made him extremely profitable for Grade A Entertainment. 2018 was only the beginning for Juice, as 2019 would end up being an even bigger year for his career, and at the same time, sadly, end up being the last year of his life. In 2019, the world was given the news that the 21-year-old rapper Juice Wrld has sadly passed away. According to the authorities, his passing was accidental, claiming that the 21-year-old had accidentally taken too many pills. The story goes that Juice Wrld, alongside his girlfriend Ally Lotti, were aboard a private plane traveling from Los Angeles to Chicago. According to the police report, the flight had no issues during the actual flight. Juice Wrld was actually asleep the majority of the flight. The plane would eventually land at the Atlantic Aviation Terminal around 2 a.m., where the authorities were waiting for the plane. The authorities will begin to search throughout the luggage on board when Juice suddenly collapsed and started having a seizure. Juice Wrld would be rushed to the hospital, but unfortunately wouldn't make it to the hospital. Many news outlets early on were reporting a story claiming that Juice had purposely taken a bunch of pills in order to hide them from the police who were searching on the plane. A story that would end up being discredited by those on board and even the police report itself. According to the police report, nobody on board saw Juice take anything while they were on board on the plane. Since the moment his passing was reported to the world, many have questioned if the story reported was really what happened, with even people in his own inner circle not buying the story being told. One of those people who have since come out claiming that the world doesn't know the full story of what happened to Juice was his very own girlfriend, Ally Lotti. Ally Lotti, who was on the plane with Juice Wrld the day he passed, claims that there's more to the story.
Heartbroken over what's going on, and I've been quiet for the past year and a half, and took myself away from everyone because I knew what was going to happen. If people knew what happened the day before Jared passed and the day that Jared passed and everything like that, which I cannot speak upon at this moment, but I will. I just have to make sure that I am safe. So please, one, don't show anyone this, but two, know that you guys have my full support, because I cannot let Jared's legacy be what it is. Jared would never treat any of his fans like this, one, and two, literally sit on his lap every day and be like, don't go record. They don't need us. They don't need you anymore. We made so many songs that we're a liability being here. They didn't think I was going to make it through this year. There's been plenty of times they've tried and tried their hardest to make sure I wasn't going to be here. And I pushed and kept going because of this reason only. And we'll make sure that shit changes. I just have to make sure that I am safe first.
As you heard for yourself, Ally makes it sound like the story being told on what happened to Juice isn't the full story. She makes very serious accusations that appears to be towards Juice Wrld's record label, Grade A Entertainment. Ally seems to accuse the label of having something to do with what happened to Juice that night. She states that Juice Wrld had recorded so many songs that the label no longer needed him. A very interesting point, considering that after Juice passed, the label has gone on to drop 2 full albums and is planning on dropping a 3rd one this year. Ally also states that Juice Wrld being around was starting to become a liability. She goes on to make even more serious accusations when she states that she feels that the label has been after her, causing her to hide out. This to me says a lot and could suggest something else might have really happened that night that is being covered up. If you've seen my previous video on Juice Wrld a couple months back, then you should already know that I came to the conclusion long ago that Juice Wrld made a deal with the devil for his fame and fortune. Juice Wrld appeared to be a Masonic puppet, just like many others who are used to influence the masses. He often showed Masonic imagery, and paired with the agenda his music pushed, it proved to me that he was a Masonic puppet. He often repped 999, which is just 666 inverted. Just like many others who have chosen to be Masonic puppets, Juice Wrld was often pictured doing Masonic hand gestures and showing the one-eye symbolism. It was clear that Juice Wrld was associated with the Masonic order. His girlfriend, Ally Lotti, isn't innocent either, as she also seems to confirm that she is associated with the Masonic order, as she literally has the Masonic compass with the Masonic all-seeing eye tattooed on her stomach. People don't just tattoo Masonic symbols like this without knowing what they stand for. This to me proves that her and Juice Wrld were both associated with the Masonic order. This explains why Ally Lotti is afraid of what happens next if she further breaks the oath. Ally is now hinting that what happened to Juice wasn't what it seems. I believe that she is possibly hinting that Juice Wrld was a sacrificial offering done by Grade A Entertainment. What I believe Ally Lotti meant by Juice Wrld being a liability is that Juice Wrld was most likely a profitable artist, meaning he didn't owe the label money from the advance he took from them when he signed, and was instead making them a lot of money. When Lil Bibby signed Juice Wrld, he already had a hit song that already have taken off. All the label really did was amplify it and make it bigger. Juice went on to drop several more hit songs, which guaranteed he recouped his deal with the label. It doesn't even appear that Grade A Entertainment had any successful artists before signing Juice Wrld. It actually appears that they didn't have any artists signed at all. The only artist I can find they signed to the label was the Kid Laroi, and that was after Juice Wrld. The Kid Laroi would eventually leave the label just as he was blowing up as well. This made me think, was the Kid Laroi escaping the fate that Juice Wrld faced? Did he know something that we didn't? One thing is for sure, it was evident that Juice Wrld was the bread and butter of Grade A Entertainment, and it would have been terrible if the label lost Juice Wrld. This is what led me to believe that Juice might have been taken out because he was a profitable artist. Juice no longer owed his label any money. This means that Juice Wrld was more than likely eligible to sign a better deal with the label or choose to walk away from the label entirely. Walking away is most likely what he was going to do, since Grade A was a small indie label and Juice was already a star that the major labels would have thrown a really big bag at. Juice leaving Grade A would have been devastating for the label, as they only had Juice Wrld and the Kid Laroi, and at that moment in time, the Kid Laroi still wasn't really profitable. The label needed Juice Wrld to remain on the label so they can continue to make money. These labels know it's always easier to deal with the family instead of the artists themselves, as the family usually would take a large payout and sell the rights of the artist to the label, as they don't know much about the music business. Like Ally Lotti said, Juice had already recorded so many songs that the label knew about. This made Juice Wrld disposable. If the label got Juice Wrld out of the way, they can now sign a deal with Juice Wrld's head of estate, keeping him on the label and taking advantage of all the songs Juice recorded before he passed. Now Grade A had full control of Juice's catalog, and he couldn't get up and leave the label. This to me explains the many holes in the story told regarding the plane incident. According to the feds, they received a tip that Juice might have had some things he wasn't supposed to have on the plane, so they waited for him at the airport terminal. This to me raises the question, who tipped off the feds? Also, most importantly, what led to Juice Wrld having the seizure and collapsing in the first place? These are questions that will remain unanswered for now, but maybe not for long. Ally Lotti seems to know exactly what happened, but is afraid to tell it all because she feels like the label will go after her. In my opinion, this strongly proves that something else definitely happened that night. There were so many details that stuck out to me that pointed to this entire situation being ritualistic. First, there was 9 passengers on the flight, which is symbolic as Juice Wrld often repped 999, which was really 666. His plane landed sometime in the hour of 2 a.m., and Juice Wrld was pronounced gone at 3:15 a.m. We already know how important this detail is. 3 a.m. just happens to be the witching hour, or the devil's hour, where occultists usually believe it's best to perform their rituals. It is no coincidence that Juice just happens to pass at 3:15 a.m. I strongly believe this points to it being a ritual offering. We have already seen many previous artists who appear to have been ritual offerings usually meet the same ending, being that they took too much of something and sadly passed. It's clear that the only person that really had the most to gain out of this entire situation was Grade A. Grade A Entertainment has gone on to continue to use Juice Wrld to fill their pockets with money. It appears Juice Wrld might have known something was bound to happen as he rapped about it in his song Legends. On the song Legends, he raps, "What's the 27 club? We ain't making it past 21. I've been going through paranoia, so I gotta keep her. That's the world we live in now. Hold on, just hear me out. They tell me I'ma be a legend. I don't want that title now, cause all the legends seem to die out. What is this about?" As you can hear for yourself, Juice knew he wouldn't make it past his 21st birthday. Artists predicting their passing is something we've seen with many artists before, like XXXTentacion and Mac Miller. Something else I found interesting is when he states, "They tell me I'ma be a legend. I don't want the title now." I believe Juice Wrld was referring to the label telling him he would be a legend, with Juice Wrld no longer wanting the title because he knew the consequences that came with it. Sadly, I can't 100% say what happened to Juice because unfortunately, so many facts have been hidden from the world. Hopefully, Ally Lotti can find a safe way to reveal more of the truth and show the world what these labels really do in the dark. We have seen many artists who people believe went out because of their record labels, not wanting them around no more, like Michael Jackson's situation, which I just covered in one of my longest Truth Talk videos I've released. What's obvious to me is the story we're being told regarding Juice WRLD's passing doesn't seem to be the full story. Juice seems to have been taken advantage of by his label, who looked at Juice as their source of income. The labels have always shown that the artists are nothing more than a product to them, that they can do whatever they want with. The label knew that Juice WRLD would sell so much more after his passing, which he did, as his music streams saw a huge boost after he passed. The label is still to this day capitalizing off his name, using the legacy card to secure themselves millions to come. Hopefully one day the full truth will be revealed so the world can hold these labels accountable. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I just want to give a special shout out to the Truth Movement members. Thank you so much for all your support. If you would like to further support the channel, join the channel below by hitting the join button. Or you can join me on Patreon, the link would be in the description. Another way you can further support the channel is by buying a Truthist shirt. If you would like a Truthist shirt, email me at thetruthist211@gmail.com or DM me on Instagram at thetruthist01. Also, please leave a comment below on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button as this helps other people find these videos. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. Please follow me on Instagram at thetruthist01 and on TikTok at thetruthist. I will gladly appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.